Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Theresa, but you can call me Cat. This is going to be a 13-seat clock calendar reading for Virgo. So that's anybody with Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or if you're feeling affected by the machinations of Mercury. So as I'm recording this on the 6th of December, because I'm a little bit behind, Mercury's in Sagittarius, and then Mercury moves into Capricorn the day before the Sun does, on the 21st of December, which is the winter solstice. So that's going to be affecting Virgo, not only because of Mercury's moving, but also because it's moving into its older relative Capricorn. So it's in a fellow Earth sign. Now the North Node is in Gemini, which is Virgo's twin brother, and basically, and what else is going on? Moon is in Virgo on the 10th and 11th of December. Oh wait, no, I read that wrong. On the 7th to 9th of December. I really should take my notes in a more orderly fashion. On the 7th to 9th, the moon is in Virgo. So what does that do? It's gonna be a little bit like Ten of Wands. Is there a moon in Gemini on here anywhere? No. That's weird. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a little bit like the 9 or 10 of Wands on the 7th to 9th of December for Virgo energy, where there's just like a really difficult thing that's been sort of hanging over your head for a long time, that's going to start seeing a little bit of clarity or resolution. Anything else here? Mercury is going to be one of the 4 planets in Aquarius when Uranus goes direct in Taurus on January 14th. So the Moon, Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn. So there's going to be this sort of repeat of the energies that are cropping up throughout December, right? Because Virgo in Sagittarius, Virgo in Capricorn, the Moon in Virgo, all those energies are going to sort of have a little echo cycle on January 14th. And we also have Taurus in Aries, and Uranus is going direct in Aries. So we have an air sign. Mercury is usually associated with air, but we also have another fellow of the Earth, Taurus, in there as well. So there's sort of a lot of energies being compressed like a pellet. And again, there's like it's like a chorus of echoes coming when Uranus goes direct. It's going to be a clearing of the conscious. I don't know why that sounds weird. All this, like consciousness. Like I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I think that song is my King of Cups, but that's not really relevant right now. All right. So let's actually look at December for Virgo. So a blessing on your sleep, coming in inverted, starting with a number 6. Okay, so today is the 6th. There's this idea that there's something that's causing a lack of peace of mind. But let me see what else we have here. 7 of Pentacles upright. Energy. Saturn in Taurus. Okay. 13, a transformative cycle. Interesting. And then the Devil proper, Capricorn energy, Saturn energy, inverted. Yeah, there's definitely this lack of peace of mind. And I mentioned like a 9 or 10 of Wands energy. 10 of Wands is Saturn in Sagittarius, and this would be an idea of trying to let go of some kind of blockage, especially as the sun moves from Sagittarius to Capricorn. Mercury's doing the same thing a day earlier. So it's sort of like a foreshadow. 6, 7, 15. 15 breaks down to 6. So it's kind of like saying your brain is going to be hyperactive, trying to sort of force a growth that's taken a long time, because inverted this would be impatience. A growth that's taken a long time, a lot of work. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And there's this idea of I'm putting in all this effort and I'm still I feel like I can't rest easy at night. And there's an idea that there's going to be sort of essentially like a fire transformation, and go from this, again, the Sagittarius energy, like the slings and arrows, into this cool, dark cave place of deep, earthy Capricorn energy. And it says a blessing on your sleep, and there's this idea too that winter is a time of like hibernation. And I think what's happening here essentially, especially because the 6 looks like a 9 inverted, is there's like a hermit moment to just actually get some rest and complete this transformation, and realize that things that are weighing you down and making you unable to sort of ease your mind to relax are going to start shifting as the season changes. Alright, so let's look at January. Oops, let me just... January. Okay. Oh, I forgot to mention, so oh, okay. It's a good thing I stopped too, because I need an overview of the year. So I'm using the box of charms, and I forgot that I need to get some of those before I go on. I've got the Wild Unknown Tarot, the Aquarian Tarot, which I think is actually... Yeah, it goes this way. The Aquarian Tarot. And the Blessed Bee deck by Lucy Cavendish. Alright, so let's get some... I'm just I'm gonna dig around in here because I've been shaking them out and I've been getting so many that's taking like an extra half an hour just to do the charms. Overview for 2021. Oh, there's the glove. I was staring at that when I was shaking them up. So we have the glove. And the toilet, I just heard royal flush. Especially because this looks like a fancy glove. Royal flush. It's like I'm holding an ace in it up my sleeve. I have the doorway. Got a little bit of break on through to the other side. But also, Aerosmith, take me to the other side. So here is the goat. So we have, like, essentially like getting the devil again. Capricorn, obviously, still throughout the first 2/3 of January. We have the compass. Directional. The goat goes up here with the royal flush, I think. Have the travel cup, so probably coffee. Unless you're like me and you don't like coffee, and that's probably a hot chai. So we have Gizmo. Oh. Feed him after midnight. Well, walk in after midnight in the moonlight, and the stars are shining bright. Go out walking after midnight, searching for you. And this is the magnifying glass. That was a little Patsy Cline there for you. Stay up all night with the owl. Oh, the owl again. This is the third time I've seen that guy in a row. Why is there something I was looking at about an owl? Oh, I know. I was just talking about this owl cartoon that I watched the other week. It's like the Owls of Ga'Hoole or something like that, and the baby owlet hacked up its first pellet, and I thought it was funny remembering it. So here's the mouth. Don't really want that right next to the toilet, but... Alright, so I've got some charms in reverse. I have the kawaii face, which came out in the Leo reading. I have the donut, third time in a row, just like the owl. So I think the owl and the donut actually go together. But the donut was inverted. Okay. Just make sure that I know the donut's inverted. And the third eye inverted. And the moon inverted. Oh, walking after midnight in the moonlight. Okay. Searching. I have the fox. Oh, it is here. The fox inverted. To me, this is like the Seven of Swords. And I'll, if it's still in the deck, I'll pull that out in a second. I have the winter hat inverted, so that's more of a December energy. And I have this rose inverted, which is kind of like an alternate Ace of Cups. I just heard thorny. So it's kind of like that Poison song, every rose has its thorns. So I'm going to put this up here. Let's see if the fox is still in here. It's like Miles Tails Prower, you little bitch. Okay. Let's see if it's still in the deck. I feel like I might need that guy. I'm going to leave that out. There he is. Okay. So the fox goes up here with that. Alright. So my little guy here is kind of based on this fox over here. You can see there's a similarity. This one always gives me the idea of like sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight, because there's a deceptive energy to the Seven of Swords, right? I'm going to sit on the truth and hide it and tell you that, no, I was only able to steal 6 of the swords. The 7th one wasn't there. Meanwhile, you're got it hidden behind your back. So the 7, Jesus Christ, the 7 of Swords is usually the moon in Aquarius, which we see on the 14th of January there. But I've reassigned some of these duplicates in here, so I see that I've assigned this Pluto in Aquarius. And it's coming in inverted, which tells me there's a need for deeper communication. Okay. This charm to me means more like I'm suspicious of you until I see that you're not a threat. And at that point, I'm going to come out from behind my tail and like roll around on the floor like a little psycho. Because that's what foxes do. So, because I have this again, it's essentially saying the same as this, right? The devil upright, I have the goat. But this is like, I'm not coming out, right? I'm burrowing deeper into my hole. Because I need to go deeper to find some sort of... To find out where this, essentially this blockage is that comes up. What is the thing hanging over me? Right? What is hanging over me that I need to have not hanging over me anymore? So, right, what are the thorns in my side? I need to pull them out. Sort of like the lion getting the thorn pulled out of its paw in the strength card. Let me see if that's still in here. I don't know if... This one might not. No, it does have a lion on it. Oh! Oh, I do need the strength card. Where is it? It might be in the... on the board already. Where is you? Where are you at? There he is. This lion is holding the rose in his mouth. He's tried to pull it out of his paw on his own. So there's a shoe in the works here with the strength card inverted. There's a gremlin in the machine. So he goes up here. We have gremlins in the machine. There's some detail that's missing. And this hat is sort of like I'm out in the cold. I feel unprotected. Now this mouth probably, I'm not sure where that goes yet. I'm getting the idea of lip service, so I think this probably does go with this royal flush energy. Oh, okay, so this compass is part of the searching. So the owl and the donut and the door. Right, I'm searching and trying to have enough energy to find what my problem is in my own darkness. Because a moon energy is something that's hidden, and we had a moon on this card inverted as well with the owl, I might add. So the owl, oh, and there's a bunch of roses here too. So for 2021, there's this idea that as I go on this journey, right, I'm trying to gain the resources and the energy to go out and search and try to find out what this information is, of this wisdom, and have this moon turn over into this sun energy to help me rebuild my strength as I heal and pull these prickers out, get the pricker bushes off of what it is that I'm trying to grow. Right? I can't tend to my plants if I can't get to them because of all the spikes on the brambles. So as there's this internal journey takes place, I'm trying to, like, the brambles on what you're trying to get to is essentially like calcification on the pineal gland. And we start to open up the consciousness as we go in. And then this universal feedback loop opens like a doorway. So I get the idea it's like this isn't cute anymore because this came in inverted, right? I'm not enjoying being stuck in my progress. And I just heard like mountain out of a molehill, because Virgo is a youthful energy. It's like problems that a more mature energy would be sort of, I just heard three sheets to the wind again. It would be an issue that a more mature energy would have processed and learned how to deal with. But Virgo comes in as a youthful feminine energy, right? It's the maiden. It's the fresh, free-spirited, whimsical, carefree kind of energy. But even when someone is operating in that energy of just sort of free-flowing growth and just sort of, it's a very it's kind of like hippies. It was this, for a lot of people it would have been like in the 60s, this sort of free-flowing movement, like tied to the earth, peace, love, drugs, and so on. But there's a shadow side to that, and we see that sort of devolving into the sort of dead-end acid trip, and then this sort of corporate cocaine infused late 70s and 80s, and that's it's sort of where Virgo energy runs into its first essentially reality check, at least in terms of modern history as we'd understand it. It's kind of like Austin Powers. Like, that character is kind of like the Virgo energy that I'm thinking of, right? Sort of carefree, free love, kind of playful and silly. I mean, well, not really silly, but just sort of a playful, innocent character, really, who still has to go through some kind of maturity so that they understand that there's dark phases in life that have to be come through. And I mean, there's as stupid as those movies are, and as disgusting as some of the jokes in them are, there is a character arc of growth wherein there's certain major emotional and psychological issues that the Virgo-like character goes through. So there's this idea that you can still be sort of free love and earth energy oriented and peace and love and that kind of stuff. But there's still a certain amount of darkness that has to be addressed, and we see this. There's a lot of preparation. There's a coffee, there's a magnifying glass, there's a compass, there's the moon in there. So there's a lot of resources needed to get in there. I'm gonna go out and get this whole rig, even if I only use like one thing in the end. Okay. I feel like this is like, can't we just kiss and make up? And then it's sort of like, I challenge you to a duel, take off your glove, and it's like slap, slap. And again, I heard royal flush, so there's this idea that it's sort of like everything is really just a card game. And it's not really the luck of the draw, it's more about strategy. And sometimes luck, but sometimes it's also intuition. But you're not going to be able to have the intuition to stay in flow with the sort of earth energy unless you get into that darkness. So I think some of that's a little bit obscure, but hopefully the individual month sections will clarify that a little bit. Essentially, it's like in order to come out of feeling repressed in some way by life or events, to explore that free-spirited, youthful, Virgoic energy, there's a certain quest that Virgo must undertake. It's also a little bit like Frodo Baggins, right? He's just a simple hobbit, but he has to go through this long, arduous journey to throw the ring into the fires of Mordor. You know, and the hobbits are sort of very childlike and wondering when elevensies are, and just sort of, you know, very innocent. But there's still this thing where it's like the one who can accomplish this great and ridiculous, insurmountable task is the one who is sort of so unprepared for it that they have to follow the intuition of the universe. And I feel like that might be where the trope of we can only break this curse if we have a virgin. It's not necessarily that we need someone who's never had sex. It's we need somebody who has this sort of playful connection to the universe to be able to come up with solutions that aren't jaded in the same way that created the problem in the first place. All right. So let's now look at January. So we have the Knight of Cups, right? I'm leading with my heart. I always see this ram on his shoulder, and it really distracts me in this deck. So the Knight of Cups, even though he's got this ram on his arm, is Aquarius and Pisces energy. So we start off in January, especially when when Uranus goes direct, it's going to have it be an echo of when Neptune went direct in Pisces on November 28th. And that is sort of jump-starting the link between consciousness and the subconscious. But here it's like we're taking the subconscious vibes, and there's the roses there, right behind him too, with this idea of I've taken the thorns out of these and I'm carrying them to the people now that they're safe, because the thorns were a part of the subconscious that was still in darkness, and now I'm bringing it to the collective to sort of shift the way that people think, right? To jar them out of the loop of trying to solve problems with the same energy that created them. So here we have the Hermit. And I already talked about going in December with that 6. and the scorpionic energy. But here we have actually the Hermit, which is Virgo energy. Right? I've gone within. I meditated deep inside my brain case and lit up my crown. Knight of Cups is a 12. So when the Knight of Cups is... When the Knight is upright, it tells me the Hangman is inverted. So I have this background energy of Neptune inverted, and then Pisces upright, which tells me that it is an echo of that retrograde going direct. So now I have 24 inverted. So I go 6, hit a 12, and come back, and now it's 24 inverted, breaking down to a 6 again. It says, a blessing to find your way, and it's inverted. Right? Because Virgo has to go on this journey deep inside. And I think that this is coming in inverted, not because it's confusing or a delay, but because the way is in the darkness, but it's very green, and this is looking like a youthful feminine energy, right? Virgo energy, I'm naked, I'm unprotected in this journey, and I'm trying to find my way deep inside. The depths of the skull. I'm going deep in my head. It's a scorpionic energy. I'm diving deep into it. Okay, so let's look at February. 8 of Pentacles inverted. It usually tells me that there's some kind of work that's not being done. Some sort of unachievable task. So 8 of Pentacles. There is the Sun in Virgo, but it's inverted, which says moon energy, right? Virgo is going into the darkness. So again, the work is internal. Son of Swords. This is the Knight of Swords. So again, here's an owl coming in with the wisdom of what the truth is when we go internally to do the work. And this also kind of one wing each hemispheres of the brain, and here we have this corpus callosum delivering this electrical eureka moment. Okay. So also inverted, I have a blessing on your creativity. Okay. Now these, I don't know if these are ibises or storks or whatever, but it reminds me of the stork card in the Lenormand deck. And that is about something that comes like every year predictably at the same time. They build their nest, they have their babies, they're on a schedule, they've got their bird navigation in their head, so they know when to come and when to go. But here, this looking very similar to this figure, but now kind of the same person, looking a little bit like a hippie. So it's giving me Virgo energy again, but starting to shift the energy by essentially playing a different tune, right? I'm going about my journey in a way that's sort of weaving this tapestry around me as I go. And again, I feel like it's inverted, not because it's not happening or it's slowing down, but because it's all internal. 19 is the sun number, but it's in the regular tarot, and it's inverted, which tells me perhaps moon energy again. But moreover, it breaks down to a 10, which is some kind of a cycle completing, right? I'm sort of, it's like this kind of the swan song for this same darkness as before, right? The definition of insanity is making the same mistakes over and over again and expecting a different result. We're going to change up the music a little bit. Let's play it in a minor key. Let's drop out the third note in every 3/4 thing. Let's pick up the the beat a little bit, you know, what's it called? Beats per minute, whatever, you know what I mean. Alright, so let's look at March. So there's the Hermit again. But it kind of looks like the Hermit is like walking in a different direction. Like I went deep into one direction and now I took the elevator all the way down and now I'm gonna check out the basement. Kind of reminds me of Inception. And they go all the way down to the 5th floor or whatever it is. So here's the sun. Illuminating the darkness, number 19. This is the little lantern that the Hermit's holding, Virgo energy, and then Leo energy. And then another one inverted. A blessing on your day, number 5. So this looks a lot like the Virgo energy as well, this youthful person. It's like, oh my god, there's trees down here once you turn the lights on. This is pretty sweet. And then we have this air element here with the wings, and it's sort of like making reference to the fact that Mercurial energy is also tied to air with Gemini. It's saying, I'm experiencing a duality down here. 5 is a pivot. 9 and 5, 14, balance. I'm starting to achieve balance by bringing my own light into the darkness and seeing. It's sort of like I'm giving love to the roots of the problem. Okay, so let's look at April. And we have the Page of Rods inverted. Okay. So I've given the Page of Wands the energy of, or I've assigned it Uranus energy. So this is going to be an echo of Uranus retrograde. So this is an 11. This is, the page is sometimes called a princess, so it could be that maiden energy again as well. But again, I feel like I'm trying to bring some kind of core value. I'm trying to bring my solar chakra into the darkness, which is why I feel like this is inverted again, because it's a journey into the upside down, basically. And I have the 3 of Swords inverted, right? I'm trying to release some kind of blockage that has to do with emotional trauma. Now, this is inverted, I feel, because it's released, not just because it's happening inside. I'm like, what the hell is all this? No wonder the machine isn't working. It's all tied up there. Alright, so 3 of Swords, Saturn in Libra. There's that Capricornian energy again, and then Libra is the air aspect of Venus. This idea of nurturing, because you have Virgo the maiden, the Empress is the mother, and then the High Priestess holds the energy of the crone. But they don't have to be any certain age physically. It's a matter of taking on that energy. So when the Virgo energy starts to radiate in the darkness, what they do is they send up a little bit of nurturing and sort of tap into the air side of Mercury and signal to their cousin in over with Libra with the air, and saying I'm going to nurture into a balance. And notice that 11 and 3 is 14, which is balance as well. So we have a blessing on your health, also inverted. So a 9, which is again like Virgo, and then a dragon, like we have essentially the Page of Rods here again, only this time instead of an 11, it's a 9. So we have 911, we have a medical emergency. But with the 9 inverted, it tells me 6, that there's an idea of I'm I'm staying within the Hermit energy to enact this healing. And where is the healing? My thoughts, my emotions are tied around my thoughts and binding them. Alright, so let's... Oh, that's April. Okay, so let's look at May. So now we have Justice inverted. So this is the Libra energy. The Empress. Venus. Now, Justice for me is a slightly lower vibration of the High Priestess. It goes Two of Swords, Queen of Swords, Justice, and then the High Priestess. Right? So this is like the Empress is a little bit older. Her kids are starting to grow up, and she's just sitting there in her psychic energy, starting to learn more about the dark and the light, and able to sort of astral project more, that she's not tied to earthly matters. This is where Justice sits. And again, it's inverted. 11, I'm bringing it into the darkness, to the underworld. And of course, to go with it, 9 of Wands. So again, this idea of 911 energy. Moon in Sagittarius. I'm sending this fire down in there. I'm sending this light. Like a pew, like a little arrow into the moon to bring some illumination to the way down stuff in the muddy basement that we don't usually look at. And then 18 inverted, which is 18 usually the moon number. A blessing for good work. So we have roses. We have a different bird here. I think this is a kingfisher. But it's sort of like I'm opening up my crown. I'm bringing, again, this idea that it's not always just thorns. And we have this maiden-looking Virgoic person. So again, it's like I'm bringing this, opening up the energy in the darkness. It's sort of repetitive, but maybe it's more like, well, I don't know. It's the message is very clear. And maybe it's repeating a lot because Virgo is making a new map, right? We need to verify the information, so I'm repeating it often to make sure that the details match up. Charting a new course. I just also heard Lost Coastlines. This is a song that I'll try to remember to link underneath here because I think that's relevant. So let me write that down. I also think the video is pretty cool too. Okay, so let me try to remember that. I need a sip of water. Alright. Oh, I need to blow my nose too. Okay. Alright, so June energy for... Get a hair on the table. June energy. 9 of Cups. Okay, so that's good. So we're taking this idea of healing, this like long-awaited release in the darkness, and it's taking it from the 9 of Wands to the 9 of Cups. So we have, interestingly enough, it comes up, it's Jupiter in Pisces, right? So my arrow of fire that I slung into the subconscious to light up the darkness is creating this moment of contentment, like, oh, that feels so much better. Like just like utter relaxation, right? We're not all crunched up needing a muscle relaxant. We're just like, oh, that massage feels so good. And the world. So we're completing a cycle. We're doing the work. Like the world is our oyster. It's Saturn energy. We're opening up a new dimension here. 21 breaking down to 3. And then I have 36 inverted though. A blessing on your wisdom. This is the crone energy. This is the high priestess. But notice we have 36, which breaks down to a 9. She's coming in inverted again because this is happening like deep in the underground. She's got this moon energy. She's got an owl. She's got another bird. She's got a wolf over here. It's like I'm in tune with the earth. But the wisdom comes from learning so much about consciousness illuminating in the darkness. And it's like, I was going to say that the world breaks down to 3, which is the Empress number. So we see that Virgo, even though they're in the maiden energy, is tapping into the other parts of themselves, right? Because the threefold goddess is never only one thing. She can sort of fluctuate between if she has to. Right? It's like Virgo. It's like, that's not even my final form. Look at me down here in the darkness. I'm still sort of playful and attached to the earth, but I've got a strange brew going here. Which I may have to put that song too. Okay. Alright, so we're looking at July. Oh, I just heard tell all the people that you see the doors. So now it's sort of like I'm getting ready to move out. I'm ready to come back up the elevator. We're on the next level. 7, Cancerian energy, which again, moon energy. You're ready to rock and roll here. And again, so 3 of Pentacles inverted. But this tells me I've crossed the mountain of the underworld, right? I've drawn my map here. Mars in Capricorn. Now this also is telling me that we're not going to be doing things the old way, and then I have 3 and 10, and that's a completion again. Now we have finally a blessing card upright, a blessing on a new venture. There's this Sagittarian energy, right? I shot all that fire in there. So here, also this idea of an arrow coming off of a central point, the Martian energy. Now, the slinging the bow like all the way into a direction, though, is actually Sagittarian energy. But I mean, here's another maiden-like figure out in nature, learning how to project energy to somewhere else. And I'm gonna, and if I can't get the arrow far enough, I'm gonna send the Pony Express. July also a time of Cancer with the Chariot sitting right there. So we have August. So we have some coming up out of the dark in preparing, learning how to bring the message to someone else, right? Archery practice. I'm practicing putting my little pockets of my energy outwards. 8 of Swords inverted, which is good because I'm walking away. I'm breaking out of a mental prison. I want to break free. Right? But this is a message that's coming up. It's like we all want to break out of this. We need to get to work on this. 8 of Swords. Jupiter in Gemini. So I don't know if Gemini is still going to be the North Node in July. I haven't looked. But right now, as of December, and probably at least into the beginning of January, Gemini is the North Node. Sagittarius is the South Node. So we have Jupiter in Gemini. And this is sort of like a world-spanning issue, right? We had the world over here, right? The node here and the node here. It's all encompassing. There's a shift going on. And we see that what the shift is going to be is once that message gets out there, and the message is there's a duality and we spent too much time in the prison. Now it's time to go and have a walkabout. And we have Now we have the Three of Pentacles upright, right? I've drawn my map. Oh, the Three of Wands, my bad. Three of Wands upright. So this is, I've drawn the map, and I'm using these same sticks that I used to draw the map that I have created a portal into this new world. Right? Like here's the map of where I've been, and this, if you go through here, you can go there too, basically. Right? I walked over this whole mountain so you could get the teleport. Came back in a fast car the long way. Alright, so 8 and 3 is 11. That's a justice energy. This is the sun in Aries, which is that Mars energy of like I'm pushing the energy outward for growth from a central point. We see that this portal is trying to expand to encompass the world as it is now in order for the shift to take place. Alright, so here we have inverted. A blessing to lift sadness with a 30 on it. So we have a number 3. And this is kind of like the maiden energy as the hermit. And we have a moth here because it's transformation in the darkness. And it's saying this sadness that you want to lift is only going to come when you get out of your own mental prison. But I'm trying to show you the way. They're like, yeah, but I'm sad. But it's like, you won't be if you come. A little bit of Pied Piper action there. Okay. So we have September. 10 of Cups. Okay. So there's a 9 of Cups over here, right? That like, oh, that feels so much better. Well, 10 of Cups is like ultimate contentment, like happy home. Like things are ship shape. Now this was Mars in Pisces, which makes sense because there's this expansive energy. But I've reassigned it Pluto energy, but I don't think that's as relevant right now. It's sort of like popping up from this sort of death cycle. But right here, I feel like it's more like the clearing of the subconscious with the spread, the outward growth, outward emotional growth from the sort of warmth inside. And now I have the Daughter of Pentacles. So this is a page energy again. And it's like, ooh, so rainbows continuing from the other thing. So this is, again, like Virgo energy. And the Page of Pentacles, I have assigned Pluto energy. So it doesn't really matter. But it's like a scorpionic energy, sort of, and I'm not seeing it as death this time, but more as generative, right? Like sexual reproduction, which maybe right here, happy home includes sexy times, but it's also like germinating, which comes right before Martian energy, which takes the seed and starts growing it to spring roots, right? So it's sort of like I'm going to set up roots in this new energy where things are happier, and I have I go 10, 11, right? I'm expanding, I'm completing, and now I'm leveling up, but I'm also 11 universal timing, and then this aspect of justice, of a balance that is restoring, like a restorative balance there. And now we have 11, a blessing on the children. So again, generative, and we're growing our third eye, which was calcified, right? It's releasing that. And we're having this new where are my words? The third eye is expanding. It's gaining new life, right? It's like a tree growing out of a dead tree stump, basically. And here, this character, again, because it's 11, it's sort of like the older empress who is on her way to being the high priestess, right? She's still working on the flowers and raising some babies maybe, but there's a transformative effect as she goes more from dealing with the growth in the daylight to growth in the darkness. Okay. Really didn't want to have this going on while people were listening to music loud and shouting along with it. But I was already in the middle of my reading when it started, so I'm going to finish. So we have October. So we have the Lovers inverted. I'm not really surprised to see, but let me get the other cards first. Gemini energy. Could be literally the Lovers. It could be a duality. It could be masculine and feminine energy. It could be healing, or it could be some kind of choice or decision. So 5 of Wands. This always looks like muscle fibers to me, also inverted. So I have an 11 inverted total here, which is interesting because I just had 2 11s upright. But the 5 of Wands, traditionally Saturn in Leo, but I've reassigned it Neptune in Leo. So the collective consciousness is starting to give up on this constant attack or be attacked energy, but they have a little bit of ways to go to healing. It's like they have the universal energy is forcing them the decision upon them to put down their fighting sticks and do some internal healing. So a blessing on your intuition, number 8. So we have this strength number here. So this is essentially the high priestess here. She's got her owl. She's very wise. And what is she? Okay. She's coming in on an 8 because she's resonating with that strength, justice duality. And she's still operating sort of in the twilight. She's very indigo and purple, and those third eye and the crown chakra, and again gaining wisdom from tapping into the energies of the universe. So this is this sort of junior high priestess energy of like the Empress on her way. Again, is one of the aspects of the trifold goddess that Virgo has access to as the maiden, but it's saying that this work that's going to be done, that you've been able to sort of set a goalpost in by your own, enhancing your own psychic prowess and maturing in that way, is sort of pulling the rest of humanity with you. Okay, so let's go to November. Alright. Very stressful to try to do this reading with loud noise, like right down the hallway. But there's nothing I can do about it, and I'm not going to rain on someone else's party because they need the playfulness and the release just as much as Virgo does. So you have Six of Pentacles inverted. This is sort of an out of balance card as well. But the direct energy is the moon in Taurus. So moon inverted, sun energy, Taurus. This is going to be an aftershock of the retrograde Uranus in Taurus. It's aspecting part of the consciousness, but it's still this sort of darker moonlit consciousness that's trying to have its ends meet, basically. Lady Madonna, children at her feet. I wonder how she managed to make ends meet. So I'm going to put that in the comments too. Lady Madonna. Okay. And then the Father of Wands inverted. So this is a 14 breaking down to a 5. So again, I have 11 inverted. And the King of... This is the King of Wands. I don't know if I held that up right. There's this dude here. The money counter. So the Father of Wands is... I really hope my camera's not picking up what that music is because I don't want to get copyright infringed. I waited 2 hours to do a reading yesterday so I wouldn't have to encounter that. But like I said, I was already in the middle of this reading. The Cancer and Leo energy. So we have moon energy and sun energy having the same sun-moon duality of flipping back and forth. It's like someone's messing with the light switch, right? It's like, it's duck season. No, it's rabbit season. It's duck season. It's rabbit season. So the collective is saying, I don't want to do it in a new way. And the universe is like, no, we're going to put the lights on. And then they're like, no. And then the universe is like, yes. A blessing of protection, 25. Okay. So this is like the, this is like the maiden who is partway on the way to being the Empress. And she's got her crown activated. She's becoming more abundant. She's looking a little bit more mature. As soon as I have the High Priestess number and the Empress number breaking down to 5, which is the Hierophant number, which is like getting information from the higher realms. It can also be like wedding energy. And 5 is also a shift or a pivot. So I have a 14 breaking down to a 5. I have 23 breaking down to a 5, which is a completion. And then 6 brings it to 16, which is the Tower. So it's sort of like Virgo is sort of divinely protected while the rest of the world is fighting with the universe, whether they want to turn the lights on in the basement and see what all the little eyeballs are. Okay, so we'll look at December. And we have the Four of Rods inverted. So this is like 11-11 inverted, right? The foundation of the underworld is being overhauled. Venus in Aries, right? So the Empress with the sign that's ruled by Mars, which is the Emperor. Or I guess the Emperor is Aries, whatever. The Emperor and the Empress, but not building, or building in the underground, right, in the darkness. And then I have the Eight of Pentacles inverted. Now the Eight of Pentacles was inverted over here when we were doing work on the interior. And I feel like this is coming in with this card for this thing because we have, notice we have a doubling, 4 and 8. Eight of Pentacles is the Sun in Virgo. So we have Virgo down in the moon area again. But it's like this, it's like mom and dad are watching me build my new castle in the dark, but I'm building a really big castle this time. It's going to be a whole network of castles all over the world, right? It's like I'm spreading a foundation of this new paradigm for restructuring the darkness over the internet. It's gonna be huge. And then we have 21, a blessing to bring prosperity. So this again looks like the Virgo energy learning to be the Empress. This is like a year before this picture was taken. You know, I don't need my crown to be as pretty. You know, the kids like to decorate it, put glitter on it, like all the barrettes at once. And then when you're older, you're like, I just want a sleeker look. I'll have all the zhuzh on my stick and on my coat. And here it's just like, I just want to be comfortable, but I want to wear a pretty hat. And I'm going to work on my crown energy, and I'm going to make these apples, and it's going to be awesome. So it's sort of like flow with nature, 21, High Priestess and Magician energy, breaking down to 3. Empress energy, nurturing, abundance, grounding, balance. And then 21, also the world number, right? So I'm bringing prosperity to this new world that I'm creating in the underworld. I'm going to hang my foundation from the ceiling. Kind of like a spider web is hanging in the corner of the ceiling. Okay? So it's like I'm going to build something incredible into the underworld. I'm going to build a railway so that people don't get to the portal and then freak out. Right? Which is where the chariot came in, right? I'm building a subway network into the underground so people can ride the train in there. Okay, get my paint out of the way here. So if you want to get a personal reading, you can order one. This reading is actually one that I have for sale. 13 seat clock calendar. So, but the complete list of readings I offer and how much they cost is in the description box of my infomercial video, which is going to be linked below this one. I do have a reading that's helped me. I can't afford a reading. It's only $9, so that might be useful for people in these trying economic times. I have a link tree. It's linktr.ee/CATtheMinion, so everything you see here is connected. I've got coloring books and a poetry book. I've got merch and prints. I have actual art items and a couple of art gift type things on Etsy. If you get 3 or more items and use the code 3star17, you'll get 17% off your order of 3 items or more. And I guess that's it. If you want to help keep this channel running, donate, energy exchange, you can hit that tip jar, paypal.me/CATtheMinion. I also have Cash App and Venmo. Again, all of these links for products and services and social media are in my link tree, and that's going to be listed below in the description. I have been trying to post my little pinned comments under my videos in YouTube, and for the last almost month I keep posting my comments and then they disappear. And I don't know why YouTube is so hungry that it keeps eating my little pinned comments, but whatever. The same information is going to be in the little description box. So, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, check out my playlists tab and my discussion tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.